Before I begin, I would like to share with you that this seminar is for people of all walks of life. All right, there are people who are sitting in now in the audience that are very savvy investors. There are also people that is sitting in now who have not owned any property yet. Depending on all our situations, these seminar insights do not fit one size for all, which means the solutions and the answers and the insights that is provided here may not be suitable for some of you because we are all in all walks of life in different situations. So to say that one investment objective may be different from another. One point of view may also different from another. So today comes with a disclaimer, which is to caution you that whatever decisions that you make with regards to investments shall be sought with investment advisor and possibly even the property agents that you are working closely with. All right, because they know your situation better. All right, so much about disclaimer. Let me talk about the current situation. The current situation is coronavirus. And most of the time, much of the things that is talked about the virus are bad news. It is easy to sensationalize bad news and the media leverage on bad news. But then bad news has side effect, just like lockdown. When we are faced with a situation like coronavirus, global lockdown and restriction is unavoidable, and it is necessary to contain the virus from spreading. But it also created unprecedented halt to many businesses and economies. Well, some of the businesses possibly have to halt forever, and some of the businesses is sad to see them go. But then the thing is, the virus itself has caused a lot of uncertainty for business that will last forever, and possibly for investments that will continue to thrive if there is no virus. This uncertainty has brought about a lot of confidence drop. And sometimes the confidence drops may even cause us to make decisions that is not realistic, or possibly even not something that we will think of during the peacetime. Because the key is, here is our mentality could be affected because of what is happening and play out from the virus. Many ask, where are we right now? The virus outbreak have caused global lockdown and have also get the government of all the countries to introduce measures to stimulate, or rather to help the economy from its huge contraction by introducing very much fiscal measures and monetary stimulus. And eventually what we hope to achieve is the virus peak and possibly even economy recovery. But looking at the way things are playing out, the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic to the global economy is truly unknown. Or could it be the beginning of the end? Or could it be the end of the beginning? And fasten your seatbelt. The second wave of virus could be in the pipeline. And who knows, with so much negative news of companies that is possibly gone during coronavirus and profit losses of many listed companies and the increasing unemployment rates, this could set more unprecedented consequences to the economy. Many famous consultants and economists may even say that we are heading for another global financial crisis. And some may even be expecting property crash in 2020 similar to 2008, or possibly even worse. So what lies ahead is a big question marks. Today, I'm not trying to speculate anything, but it is mainly my point of view of what is the property market and what should investors who are investing in property market do. So as a property investors, one of the things that I observe is these emotions called belief. I have to take positions and have a point of view of what and where I put my money. That's about investments. So in the midst of any situations or events, could that situation or event dent my point of view for that investments vehicle that I always believe in? So the same question I have for you is, today in the midst of COVID-19, if you have been investing in real estates, or if you intend to invest in real estates, do you still believe that there is future in Singapore real estates? Let me bring you back 12 years ago. What happens 12 years ago? That's in the year 2008. If you could remember this person, he's Ben Bernanke, the former head of the Federal Reserve. And in August 2008, he said this: September and October of 2008 was the worst financial crisis in global history, including the Great Depression. So, when someone says this, and someone of importance say this in the media, and this is circulated throughout the whole world, what happens to the market? The stock market go havoc. The property market also go question mark. But then, back in 2008, you have a choice as an investor. What did you do as an investor in 2008? Do you still remember? You did nothing with your money. You continue to put your money in fixed deposit, or you put your money in real estates. Now think about it. What have you done in 2008? Suppose if you put some money in real estates back in 2008, and assume you invest in a two-bedroom new condominium for $1 million back in 2008. If we were to look back at historical performance, what happens from 2008 to 2020? Real estate values outgrew inflations and that fixed deposit. So that property price of 1 million has gone up to 1.3 million in the last 12 years. And core inflations is 1.261 million. Bank deposits, 1.051 million. So if I look into the annual growth rates, there you are. Property annual growth rates at 2.25%. Inflation's annual growth rate 1.96%. And saving annual growth rate is 0.42%. I'm showing you the absolute figures, but we all know if you invest in real estates, we are talking about leverage. You don't actually put $1 million into real estates, all right? But you put $1 million in your bank deposit. So if you have only came up with 20% back in 2008 as your down payment for that property that cost you $1 million, that 200,000 is now a gain of 150%. And it's not annual growth of 2.25% if you talk about leverage gains. So in the midst of COVID-19 currently, is Singapore property still a great wealth accumulator? Well, the same message 12 years ago was recently sent across by IMF chief economist Gupta Gopinath in April 2020. She says the great lockdown to be worst recession since Great Depressions. Doesn't it sound familiar again? Right now, 12 years later. So I would like to ask you the same question again. What do you do as an investor in 2020? Would you do nothing with your money? Or would you put your money in fixed deposit? Or you rather put your money in real estates? So let us look into this. If you invest in a new launch condo, once again, assume in this year, 2020, you invested in a 2-bedroom unit for 1.3 million. And what happens to your money 12 years later? Assuming the same annual growth rate of 2.25%, after 12 years holding period, the 2-bedroom unit can be potentially valued at 1.66 million. And in between, if you look at if it's a constant annual growth rate of 2.25%, in between from the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, you can see your asset value growing in real estates amidst COVID-19 pandemic. So let me address this. Property investments is never a saving plan like this. This is ideal situation. Property investments comes with risk. And because it comes with risk, it also comes with emotion. The emotions that is defined as your temperament, your actions from your belief. So I'm always very fascinated and very interested to study the belief system and philosophy of great investors. The investment belief of world-class investors is what I'm going to share with you this afternoon. If you have heard this from Peter Lynch, you have learned that the worries of the year can hinder your decisions to put your money in good investments. Because your ultimate success or failures will depend on your ability to ignore the worries of the world long enough to allow your investments to succeed. So investment is about your temperament, your ability to believe in your point of view and to take that positions without fear. Another great investor, Mr. Warren Buffett says, no matter how great the talents or efforts, some things just take time. You cannot produce a baby in 1 month or getting 9 women pregnant. Well said. So if you have an IQ of more than 120, he says this, it is not so much about your intelligence. It is much more about your temperament, and investments is not about speculation. Investment takes time, and this also explains that if we are talking about property investments, this asset class really needs time. As people seek to improve their living environment, there will also be continuous demands for residential property. So investment in real estate market shall be a reasonable prospect in the long run. Mr. Li Ka-shing did not say in the short run. He says in the long run. So you need to have time in the real estate market. So it's as if, let me summarize this. It's as if that all world-class investors believe in these 3 characteristics of a top-class investor. Number 1, it's about focus. Is to have the ability to ignore the noise that is around you when you are moving from point A to point B. Number 2, it's about patience. It's about your ability to withstand market collapse in the midst of the crisis and in the midst of chaos. You have the ability to withstand it with patience. And number 3, it's about real estates. So let me put things into perspective. The last 10 years Singapore property market has gone through plenty of negative headlines, isn't it? Well, I started my real estate investment journey at a young age of 26 years old. I can tell you that at the young age of 20 plus, I have no fear. But as I grow to be more mature, actually there are more time that I spend reading. And because I spend a lot of time reading, I also absorb a lot of negative headlines. And because of that, it has also affected me. But there again, understanding the way top class investors behave also have helped me, all right, to realize that negative news actually do not change the course of the right investments. So I've said this, that property market in Singapore will not change in the next 10 years over the last 10 weeks. So if you take a look at our Singapore Property Price Index, often we have speakers that ask, and even I myself ask all my audience, are we heading down in terms of property prices? Or is property price going to be stagnant? Or is property price continue its climb amid COVID-19? It's very difficult to decide where the property market is. And as a speaker, it's also very difficult for us to tell you where is the market heading right now in this year 2020. I drew a circle here. I want to tell you this is very difficult because we are amid a lot of noise. To me, noise represents the chaos messages that is sent out from the media. Of course, all this information is important, but when it comes to investments, this goes as investment noise. And over the past many challenges in the economy, we also have experienced a lot of noise. But one thing for sure, all residential property price index shows a trend. It is a trend from point A to point B. And this point A to point B will experience a lot of noise. And this noise actually brings forth threats or opportunity. So from point A to point B, we will experience resistance and support. But there again, we will still reach B from point A because we are on an uptrend market. So today, I will share with you 5 reasons why investing in Singapore property market still makes sense amid COVID-19. And I will also share with you 3 investor insights on how to spot the right property. So first, let me talk about the 5 reasons why invest in Singapore properties still makes sense. Number 1, there is no asset bubble in Singapore property market from 2014 to 2019. So if there's no asset bubble, there shall be no crash in the property market. The government can't adopt hands-off approach to manage property market. Lawrence Wong said that recently. And let's take a look at the effects of government implementations of cooling measure from end 2013 till now. Why end 2013 till now is because there is many stringent cooling measure that was introduced. TDSR, MSR, ABSD, LTV. You said it. We have all these cooling measures that is introduced by the government to ensure a stable and sustainable property market. And it is from all authority, MAS, URA, HDB, Control of Housing, all towards making Singapore a stable and sustainable property market with anti-speculation measures such as SSD, prudent credit limits control such as TDSR and MSR to review on tightening bank lending, and also prevent asset inflation from local and foreign investment with ABSD. So what is the effect here? There's no asset bubble. Actually, home price growth is only 4.5%, and it lacks the economic growth from 2014 to 2019, which is 16%. Private home price have also lacked the household net worth growth, which is more than 36% from 2014 to 2019. Over here, household net worth growth means the net worth of a household, which means the total asset less all the liabilities. This is the net worth of all the household, and it have grown so much more. In fact, close to 9 times of the private price growth. And the private home price growth also lacks the cash deposit increase, all right, from 2014 to 2019. It also lacks the CPF balance increase. And this means the Singapore residents actually have more cash in hand and CPF savings that could allow us to even invest more into real estates. And in 2019, the unsold unit is 30,500. And this unsold unit represents all the units supplied under constructions and in planned development. But if we compare this back to 12 years ago in 2008, the unsold unit is 44,000 back then. So right now, we are in a situation that is lower supply overhang. And therefore, there is no asset bubble. You know, our minister even said this, that if they have not launched their cooling measures back in 2017, 1 year and a half later, if they have not launched anything in 2017, we could have experienced another asset inflations of 15% without the latest cooling measure in 2017. So what this means is that the governments ensure private residential prices remains broadly consistent with economic fundamentals. So I've just explained to you some of the economic fundamentals that Singapore property price growth actually lacks all the other fundamentals. So what this means is the government has averted an asset bubble. Next point. Point number 2, why is it still makes sense to invest right now? Is that the government and central banks' willingness to do whatever it takes will avert many fire sales. So some of you who are buyers out there, all right, who intend to buy a property or invest into real estate will probably think this: I want to wait for fire sales. I want to look for fire sales. Very good. I think some of the practitioners here and agents will be able to help you to do so. All right, but there again, there is also support that is provided by the government and the central banks, all right, to prevent many fire sales. And it is a very tough job for you to find fire sales. Why? Okay, let me explain to you. Firstly, the asset, all right, of the masses in Singapore is in residential property. This is taken from the Department of Statistics 2019. All right, as you can see here, home ownership rate is more than 90%, all right, back in 2019, and it is still increasing. If you want to make relative what is 90% with other countries, all right, there are comparisons here done on selected countries such as Australia. It is 67%, Canada 67%. Even China, who is so desired to own properties by the Chinese, is only 85%, and Singapore is more than 90%. Okay, Hong Kong 50%, Japan 61%, Korea 56%, Malaysia 55%, New Zealand 63%, United Kingdom 62%, and United States of America 63%. So I like to conclude this, that Singapore has the highest home ownership in the world. So if Singapore government knows that most of the wealth of us is in real estate, would any sound government allow the wealth of its people to be eroded and end up feeling poorer from the mass asset depreciation? The answer is very obvious. The government wants to help the masses. especially protecting our wealth from eroding. The budgets that is sent out by the government over the past 3 rounds is to help workers, businesses, and households to die over COVID-19 impact. And this amount is in excess of 60 billions, ranging from cash payout, rebate, subsidies to business and individual. And there is positive effects for real estate investments and ownership. So Singapore government is doing whatever it takes to protect the economy and prevent these 3 things: unemployment, retrenchment, and bankruptcy. You know, the lesser unemployment it is, the lesser retrenchment it is, the lesser bankruptcy it is, then the lesser fire sales there will be in the market. Next. All right, so the key support to prevent unemployment is the enhanced job support scheme. And if you are the boss of a company right now, actually, if you are the worst hit industry, such as the airline, retail, and hospitality, the government is coming up with cash up to 75% of the first 4,006 for 9 months between October 2019 to July 2020. And for all of us who are not in this worst hit industry, all right, will enjoy the 75% grant for the 2 months of wages during the circuit breaker period from April and May. So what this means is employer will be subsidized by the government in terms of the salary to its employee. And that is to save job and also retrenchment. So of course, others policies that sets by the government, such as the upgrading of training and skills of employees through the Skill Future, and also redeployments of employee, all right, such as the ComfortDelGro taxi drivers now is food deliveries, and the air crews now is working in the medical sector. So these are all to avert the retrenchment and also avert fire sales. And key support also to prevent bankruptcy, such as the Self-Employed Persons Income Relief Scheme, the Workforce Income Supplementary Scheme, COVID-19 Support Grant, and Corporate Tax Rebates. Now, all these can be found from the government websites, the MOH, all right, if you want to go into detail, but I would like to share with you that all these actually prevent bankruptcy. And the Monetary Authority of Singapore and financial industry has also came forward to support individual and SME, all right, that is affected by COVID-19. Now, I have set up companies that own commercial properties. And actually the banks have also contacted me to ask me whether I would like to refinance my my bank loans, all right, of my company, and also offered other solutions such as deferment of principal payments and interest. So the residential property loans, the individual with residential property loans may apply for deferment, and interest accrued on the deferred principal amount, no interest will be charged, all right, on deferred amounts. So lenders will approve the request for deferment as long as the individual is not in arrest for more than 90 days, blah, blah, blah. So this actually avert fire sales because you can defer your principal payment and interest payment for your residential property that you're staying in. And because of that, 17,000 applicants have asked to defer mortgage payment, all right? And more MAS and bank support. The borrowers are also not subjected to TDS-RA, all right, when they defer their principal payment for both principal and interest payment for their residential mortgage. And borrowers are not subject to TDS-RA and LTV limits also when they refinance their loans for only owner-occupied residential properties. So there are also more helps from government to property sectors. And most recently, the temporary relief measures was introduced, all right, to extend the ABSD remission period for the sales of matrimonial homes. Now, the deadlines was before the circuit breaker is actually 6 months. If you buy your second homes, you can dispose your first home within 6 months. But not now, you have extended for another 6 months to 1 year. So the couple's second residential property was jointly purchased on and before 1st June 2020 is one of the criteria. So from now, 24th of May to 1st of June, if you buy a new home or home during this time, you still qualify for this extension of ABSD. All right, so if you're seriously thinking of buying, you have more time to sell your first property. So, all right, maybe you should buy a property now before 1st June 2020. And the original timeline for the sales of the first residential property that has expired on and after 1st February also qualify for this extension. So those people who has already their property came to a deadline of 6 months, all right, because of this, it has also averted fire sales for those who is expired on and after 1st February 2020. So the extension remission periods, all right, certainly has helped this group of people, okay, and will prevent them from panic selling, okay, and further avert fire sales of homeowner. All right, actually, how much is this ABSD? All right, for any Singaporeans who are buying their second property, 12% of $1 million property is equivalent to 120,000. All right, so you have to pay upfront this 120,000 first. Now, within 6 months, if you are able to sell your first property, you can ask for the ABSD remission, all right, in the past. But right now, because of this circuit breaker, it's extended for 1 year. So you have more time to recover back your 120,000 for that $1 million property purchase. So that is good news for the upgraders who are buying their second property. Now, the 6-month extension is also for developers on ABSD remission deadline. And this is also good news for developers selling new projects. Okay, so this will also prevent, okay, the, you call that fire sales or drop in sales price from the development. Okay, right now, because it allows market condition to stabilize, recover, and determine unnecessary panic selling by the developer. So with the 6-month extension ABSD remissions, it also gives them more time, okay, in getting a right selling price for the remainder new projects home for full sell out. All right, and more good news coming our way is that our government is not stopping there. Next Tuesday, all right, next Tuesday, which is on the 26th of May, stay tuned for Prime DPM Heng Swee Keat. He will deliver another ministerial statements on further help for business and individual and household. All right, so actually, the Singapore government provides supports and continue to provide support and save the property market amidst COVID-19. Wouldn't you agree? All right, next reason, there's no oversupply. Okay, there's always from the consumer that Singapore has a lot of oversupply because it is played out too much by the media that we are in oversupply situations. So let's take a look at demand, and demand is fueled by the population growth. Based on the white paper, we are moving towards 6.5 to 6.9 million populations by the year 2030, which is only 10 years away. That is a possible growth of 21%. So if that is the case, from now to there, the average growth rate in populations is more than 100,000 per year. All right, more than 100,000 a year in terms of population growth. And that means we require property to house that more than 100,000 new population numbers in Singapore. There's also another thing about Singapore populations, okay, studies from the Department of Statistics. It also showed that Singapore experienced low fertility rate, increasing number of singles, and aging populations prefer to stay alone. So that means that there are lesser number of people in one house unit. In one household size have dropped from 2.49 persons in 2009 and 10 years forward, 2019, it has dropped to 3.16. And we predict in ERA that the average household size forecast will be less than 2.99 towards 2030. All right. So this means we need more property. Okay. So if we take a look at balancings between the demands and supply, the potential population growth per year is 109K. Average household is 2.99. So new housing unit needed from now to 2030 is 36,000. The average HDB completed annually is 22,000. Average private property completed annually is 9,009, and total supply per year is 31,000. Supply is 31,000, demand is 36,000. So is there oversupply or undersupply? Point number 4, why does this still make sense to invest in real estate right now amidst COVID-19 is that there is buying opportunity right now before the next land sale cycle and higher construction costs. All right, we know land sales revenue is cyclical and it will rise and drop depending on the market demand. So if we study history and look at what happens in the past, in 2010 to 2012, there was strong GLS. 2016 and towards 2017, there is also strong GLS. And during this same period, there is also strong collective sales, which is en bloc boom. In 2011, en bloc boom is in the core central regions mainly, and also en bloc boom in 2017, 2018 across the islands, all right, that we have experienced. And every time there is en bloc boom, okay, if we take a look at the green line, that is the total land sales revenue. Okay, it is in billions. All right, so back then in 2011, we're looking at something like close to 100 billions worth of land sales. But in 2017 and 2018, the amount of collective sales and government land sales have actually gone up to more than 140 billions. So which means the value of land have gone up. And if we take that into perspective, based on per square foot per plot ratio of land cost over the last 5 years, all right, the land cost has gone up on the medium land rate from the government land sales. It's gone up from $720 to $1,198. And that's quite a substantial increase in land pricing, all right? 66% upside. Okay, so that is during this strong GLS period. But the pipeline supply has since been dropping, all right, since 2018, after the cooling measure in 2017. The number of GLS sites have actually dropped. The number of en bloc actually even zeroized after the cooling measure. Okay, so if we were to look at pipeline supply, it has been dropping. We also should look at the unsold inventory. All right, these are the unsold inventory that is in the property under development. All right, the first quarter 2020 potential supply is low at 28,000 plus compared to historical high. All right, back then in the year 2011, second quarter is actually 68,000. So we are not a lot of inventory left. And there is also low unsold units under development may trigger the next massive land sales. And who knows, it is just 1 or 2 years away. Contrary to what we think or read, that there is oversupply. Okay, if we take a look at the past GLS and en bloc boom, all right, during that period in 2010 to 2012, land price have actually increased. All right, these are the total revenue. This is land price. So during the recent cycle, the massive land sales cycle, land costs have also increased. All right, from 700 plus to about 1,002. So where are we right now? We are here. Okay, so currently these are the total unsold unit under development. Okay, so will this number be decreasing? Yes, because every day units are sold in the new project development. And these volumes will drop now. And there will come a point where it drops, okay, to a level that will trigger another round of GLS and en bloc boom. And guess what? When there is GLS and en bloc boom, be mindful the land price will shoot. So from now to there, before the next massive land sales, all right, it is buying opportunity before the next bull run. So home price, bear in mind, will continue to rise from point A to point B, but the in between, there are opportunities. And this is the in between opportunity that comes once in a lifetime for you. So question, will it be better to buy at current land costs amidst COVID-19 or wait till the next massive land sales after COVID-19? All right, there's also strict safety guidelines in place to guide against another sparks in a new virus case. So this is said by the minister, okay, that the construction costs in Singapore will be higher because of regulatory requirement. So there'll be rising construction costs in material, labor, authorities, approval costs, stamp duties, GST will be rise in 2025, and COVID-19 safety regulatory requirements. So will construction costs increase or reduce amid COVID-19? What will be the effect? All right, the last reasons here why continue to invest in real estate still makes sense is buying opportunity when interest rate is low. Okay, truly, if transaction cost of funding is low and we can get cheaper loans, then it makes sense to invest in real estates. And not just in Singapore, but in global real estates. But in Singapore, we are in a very unique situation where our interest rate is ultra low. The low interest rate, if you compare to Asia Pacific, all right, any amount that is less than 2% is like, wow, how come our interest rate is so low? Okay, so during the challenging times, our government has lowered down interest rate, all right, similar to the Fed lower its interest rate. And we know that borrowing can be aligned with the 3-month SIBOR. And when the 3-month SIBOR is down, okay, in the past performance is that price will creep up, volume will creep up, and volume and price will increase. So if you look at historical past, like 2008 financial crisis and 2019, 2020 COVID-19 and oil crash, all right, 3-month SIBOR is down. What do you think? Will the price be stable or moving up, down? And when the volume, up or down? Okay, I finished on the reasons why we should invest in property during COVID-19 still. And let me move to the 3 essential insights to spot the right property. You know, depending on your investment objective, all right, there are always 3 things that I explain to my investor friends, is that if you want to invest, you have to know what is your objective. Number 1 is for capital gain. Number 2 is for rental yield. Number 3 is for wealth retention. So there's no perfect insights that suits everyone. But there, I will try my best to explain to you some of the insights that I find useful for my own property investment. Number 1 is invest near major infrastructure development. Because when there is change, there will be opportunity. Because it will bring forth more facilities, more amenities, and more convenience when there is major infrastructure change. All right, I also notice the government will tend to spend more money in infrastructure during recessions or during bad times, all right, to stimulate the economy. And some of the major developments that is coming our way can be found in the Land Transport Master Plan, all right, such as the North-South Expressway is one of the things that will bring forth a lot of convenience, all right, for commuters from the north to the south to the city center. All right, the north segment of the North-South Expressway is slated to complete this year. All right, but because of COVID-19, it may delay for another 3 to 6 months, but it is slated to complete soon. All right, so all the way from Woodlands to Toa Payoh, that journey, all right, actually saved a lot of time for commuters. And the whole entire North-South Expressway would complete by the year 2026. All right, and some of the locations that have just passed is Woodlands, Sembawang, Yishun, Ang Mo Kio, Bishan, and Toa Payoh to the city center, which is a CBD area. All right, what this means is if I'm an investor, I will be keen to look at all these locations, all right, because it will bring about convenience to my tenant, all right, if I invest in property, okay? So that will improve on my rental yield and rentability. So home nearer to city center is also, I mean, we all know that homes in CBD areas is more expensive, isn't it? Yes. But when the North-South Expressway open, it will bring the estates that is away from the city center closer to the city center within a shorter time frame traveling journey. All right. So this will also elevate the value of the homes that is near North-South Expressway. So let's target property that is also near upcoming MRT stations. Okay, what is the coming ones that is not open yet? The Thomson East Coast Line, which is slated to complete this year 2020 to 2024. And once again, it may be delayed for another 3 to 6 months, but it will be opening soon. Okay, so what this means, the Thomson Eastern Coast Line that is all the way from Woodlands South to Marina Bay, all right, it will pass by all these locations. So if you have passed by Bright Hill, Upper Thomson, Caldecott, Mount Pleasant, now all these locations, you can look at properties that is in all these locations, all right, there is opportunity. So incidentally, there is one that is in Marymount Station, that is in very close to Marymount Station is the Upper Thomson Station, which is next to Jadescape, all right, just 550 meters away, which is the host of our today's e-talk. So I just want to tell you that it is this Qingjian Jadescape is very close to one of the stations that is in the Upper Thomson Station. All right, so Thomson East Coast Line's timeline is this. By the end of this year, the Upper Thomson Station will open, and Jadescape estimated TOP is in 2023. And by then, there will be more stations that will link all the way to the east side. All right, and next year, it will lease all the way to CBD. So you will see a bit of price adjustment when all these stations has opened. Okay, so the MRT effect is good rentability. Number two is capital gain potential. So I've talked about the Thomson Eastern Line. Let's take a look at some case study that will possibly give us more perspective about what happens when MRT line is announced and eventually when it's open and when the project is TOP. Okay, let's look at the Woodleigh Station, MRT station. All right, did this previous new launch price appreciate when Woodleigh MRT stations are nearing its start operation on the 20th of June 2011? Okay, there is a property called 8 at Woodleigh. The TOP was 2011, and 3 years ago, before TOP, is like 2009 was the launch. All right, it was averaged at 904 PSF, but it only TOP after the opening of the Woodleigh MRT stations. All right, which is in 2012, 1 year after the opening of the Woodleigh MRT station, and the average PSF price has actually gone up. All right, almost $400 PSF. So price have increased nearing the opening of the Woodleigh MRT stations and after it's open. So if for someone who have bought a 1,000 square feet unit, he's laughing all the way to the bank because that is like 51.5% profit in 3 years. All right, where can you get this kind of compound growth? All right, yes, you can. It is buying near the upcoming MRT station. All right, the second insights that you can adopt to spot good properties is to follow URA master plan. So when you do about real estate investment, one of the things is, okay, later on we have a feng shui talk. You can follow feng shui. The other one is you can also follow the master from URA. URA master plan is all written and it's very transparent. What is coming ahead in the 5, 10 years or even 20 years down the line. So the upcoming things that is going to happen, such as the business and medical hub, all right, also does help in capital value appreciation. Okay, so if we look at this location, which is in the Thomson area, all right, there'll be new nursing home, new MRT stations, new community facilities. There will also be new sub-regional centers and medical center expansion. So I zoom in into sub-regional center. Okay, Bishan. So what is quite similar to Bishan sub-regional center? All right, I would say is Paya Lebar quarters. So Paya Lebar also have a sub-regional center. So I'm going to do some case study and analysis here. Okay, this is Bishan sub-regional center. This is Paya Lebar sub-regional center. Bishan one haven't come yet, upcoming. This one already done. All right. So in Bishan, the MRT station, all right, it's interchange. And in Paya Lebar, it's also interchange. So it looks very familiar. So furthermore, Bishan has a bus interchange. Okay, so Paya Lebar sub-regional center effects. It was announced in October 2016 and it's open in October 2019, 3 years. Okay, so during this 3 years, let's do a case study on properties that's 1 kilometer away from PLQ and 1 MRT stations away from PLQ that is announced to the opening period. All set to take a look at this case study? All right, check this out. 1 kilometer away from PLQ is Sim Urban Oasis. All right, let's study this Sim Urban Oasis. Okay, during 2016, its average price is 1,004 PSF. Okay, then the openings of the PLQ in October 2019, the PSF has gone up to 1,006 PSF. there is a 14.9% growth, all right, in this short 3 years period. And for a 1,000 square feet unit, the capital gain is 210,000. All right, for that, there is also rentability, okay, from the time when it's announced and to the time when it's complete for the sub-regional center. All right, this means there is an increase in tenants and also increase in the rental income per month, all right, after that 2 years. Okay, so now if we take a look at Bishan Sub-Regional Center, we have also a new development that is 1 kilometer away from the Bishan Sub-Regional Center. And there's also an MRT station that is 1 kilometer away, all right, which is Bishan Station and Marymount Station for that Circle Line. Okay, will Jadescape experience the same PLQ catalyst effects? My point of view, yes. All right, upcoming medical hub, Mount Avenue. All right, let's do a case study within Novena planning area, all right, which is medical hub cluster. Rental transactions of non-landed homes in Novena remains resilient. In fact, very sustainable rental volume. So Jadescape is near Mount Avenue and the Novena medical cluster. So there's a possible spillover of rental effects. For that reasons, if you are investor for rental yield, all right, Jadescape also make a good property purchase. So Mount Avenue expansion is slated to complete by the year 2021. Now I love this location, which is near to the Thomson area because of its nostalgic shop houses where you get some atas cafe and restaurants where you can do hang out in that area. And I love MacRitchie Reservoir, and that's one area that I spent almost 3 times a week of my time, okay, in running around the trails. So this location has its charm and its attraction. And of course, I've diverted away. So let's come back to this. Medical hub itself is about rentability. So Mount Avenue will bring forth more tenants, okay, for those who are investing for rental yield. So there are medical researchers, doctors who are possible target tenants since Jadescape is only in close proximity with Avenue 1. So the last point that I want to bring across about insights on how to spot good properties is look for hidden values. Okay, many a times what is presented in the brochure and in the media or in the website is only on the surface. But if you can look deeper and do some studies, all right, and reflect back what, making comparisons with relative estates, regions, or even district, all right, we will be able to zero in where shall we anchor ourselves. All right, so what's the value of RCR? If we are talking about Thomson area, then we are in that RCR region. All right, and according to URA, RCR refers to the rest of the central region. It is still a central region, okay? And it is the rest of the central region that is outside 9, 10, 11, downtown core and Sentosa. And it is adjacent to the core central region. Okay, what is core central region? District 11 is core central region and District 20 is RCR. So most homes in RCR grew faster than home prices in CCR. So in the last 10 years, prices in CCR actually grew by 7.3%, while RCR grew by 14%. Okay, amazing, very interesting. And in the last 10 years, rental in RCR has also grew faster than CCR. All right, possibly the expat is also moving down from CCR to RCR. All right, and the sold demand versus the launch, which is the supply, all right, is also more. So what this means is the demand for property in RCR actually outstrips the supply, all right, over 2017 all the way to 2020. Okay, and the average sold unit is 921 units, but the launch average is only 836 units. All right, RCR has also the highest average take-up rates than other regions. So what is take-up rates? Take-up rate is the number of units sold divided by the number of units launched. So RCR experienced average take-up rates of 167% as compared to CCR 130%, which is also very high, and OCR 114%, which is also very high. So everywhere is very high, but the highest is RCR. Okay, so let's zoom in into the values of District 20. So what are the hidden values that we can find in District 20? So I said District 20 is only one boundary line separating from prime District 11. Okay, so what's the price difference between District 20 and District 11? All right, so it is just like one line away, but then you are in District 20, I'm in District 11. But this is the price difference. District 20 secondary prices are 20.6% lower than District 11. And new launch price are 33.2% lower, all right, in District 20. Okay, so what this means is District 20 display the most price resilient, all right, among RCR district during 2008 financial crisis. Okay, so if you take a look at 2008 during financial crisis, what happens to all the property district? All right, from District 1 to District 28, those in the red, that means it actually came down during the global financial crisis in second quarter 2008 to 2009. But District 20, which is the most price resilient among all RCR, all right, can withstand the challenge of the global financial crisis. So that is in D20. Okay, possibly a lot of the owners in this D20 are homeowner, they are staying there. So whether there's a crisis or no crisis, they will not sell their property. So the price is very stable. All right, and we're talking about elite school. I'm not talking about school, I'm talking about elite school. So which district came to your mind? Most will think is Bukit Timah. But I want to tell you this. Actually, in District 20, there is quite a number of elite school, you know. So like which institution is in the District 20? Oh yes, Raffles Institution, and also Catholic High School, and most recently, Raffles Girls' Schools, the secondary schools. They are all in District 20. So proximity to elite school from, example, Jadescape is just 650 meters away from Catholic High and 850 meters away from RI. Okay, so let's do another case study. All right, this time, let's case study property that is near this elite school. All right, Marymount View and also Seasons View. Now, back then, this is not like the hot property that we are talking about. All right, back then in the year possibly 2010, 10 years ago, all right, this property is selling like 720 PSF. But over the last 10 years, it has gone up by 43.3%. All right, for properties like Seasons View, the capital gain over a period of 10 years is 43%. Okay, if you have a 1,000 square feet unit, that profit is 312,000. And if there's an owner in Marymount View, which is freehold, all right, in January 2020, the average price is 570. But over the last 10 years, they've gone up by 137%. Okay. How about this in relative to properties, all right, in the island? If you talk about the whole island private residential property for the last 10 years, all right, over all the private property types, whether is it primary and secondary market, the property capital appreciation have gone up by 21.6% over the last 10 years. So all these locations that is near to elite school has outperformed the island-wide performance. So there is hidden values in properties that is near elite schools. So the value of Jadescapes is also seen by a lot of interest. All right, if you want to follow, all right, follow where most of the demand is, because when there is demand, okay, there is interest, and when there is interest, there is exit plan. So over here, most search condo in RCR is actually Jadescape. Okay, and one of the most best selling project in RCR in today's, and it's still counting, is also Jadescape at Shunfu. Okay, then we look at the value investments among currently selling RCR projects. Okay, there are so many RCR projects that is in the market right now. Okay, we can do some comparison. All right, not looking at all the features and all the strength and all the advantage of all the development here. Let's just zoom in on price. Okay, there is indeed some values to look at. All right, among all these property in the RCR projects. So I've come to the end of my presentations. Now I'd like to conclude this. What should savvy property investor do now amidst COVID-19? All right, in the beginning of my slides, I talk about it's either you do nothing, all right, just watch, don't do anything, and wait for the next 10 years. Or you can park your funds, like what you love to do most, into a very safe saving account called fixed deposit and earn very low interest and be eroded by inflations. Or you can do something with your money, all right? Once again, if you are a property investor, the option 3 is to put your money into the right property. So it's always darkest before the dawn. Though we're now in the dark, there is always stars that we can choose to see in the darkness. And the stars that I'm referring to are all the reasons why you should still invest in property amidst COVID-19, and also the insights that help you to spot the hidden values of properties. So focus on the stars because it is always correct not to waste a good crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, thank you and Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri again. Thank you.